Alrighty. Hello everyone. You know, we're gonna get, without any further ado, into the last game of Soup versus Cyclone. So we have a Oranos versus Loki on Highland, which, as we know, is everyone's favorite map, because it has bears, and there's one big hole in the center which you can wall up, and bears are really fun. So here Soup is coming out right to the right water, and it appears that Cyclone is heading for the left water. So they're both going to initially dock separately, which is interesting. Quite oftentimes players will inadvertently dock the same water, and you'll see some really awkward fishing ship boat wars going on, where they'll rush to take over the fishing spots. But the fact that you have to you won't have that happen means that both players should have relatively cleaner builds. I do think this map is perhaps, I don't know, I think it can be harder to play Atlantis on just because of the long walk. But then I have seen some Atlantis players advance really fast on this map and just immediately pressure their opponents and win. So I definitely think this matchup in this matchup on this map definitely requires skill. So we'll have to see what happens. Yeah. Soup immediately putting his house down, which is pretty standard. Sharing the ox cart with the gold in the wood, very nice. A good way to squeeze out some efficiency in the build. And we see that Cyclone's taking advantage of this hunt. And yeah, so pretty standard builds from both players. Let's see the relics. Bridle, ship of fingernails. Does Soup see that? That's a good relic. No, he doesn't. So that's unfortunate. But maybe he'll see it. Thunder called Shawl. Yeah, that would be good for a Loki player, but he probably won't get that. Arrows of the Far, also a very good relic, but again, might not be that relevant. We do have Soup coming down here, and he will scout his opponent's dock. So let's see what he'll try to do. If he'll try to dock his opponent's water, or he'll use that intel to place his temple. And he is putting a house down there, so he must be planning some sort of early aggression once again, because otherwise a forward house like this is incredibly risky. Let's see what a Cyclone sees. So Cyclone is already putting his temple up, so I'd imagine that we're going to be seeing a really fast advance from him, which can be really scary. He doesn't have enough food yet, but we'll see. And here we go. We also have Soup going for a fast advance, putting his temple down, and he's going to be trying to take out these docks with some Heimdall Einherjar, I assume, or there's a very slim chance he could go for a rush. And I must say that Cyclone has really had really bad gold this game. And since he's aware of his really bad gold once again, he's gone for a much faster build than the first game on Mediterranean. He's made sure to control his economy a lot better, and he will be up around 420, which should definitely put him up in time to counter whatever Soup is doing potentially, as Soup is in fact slightly behind him. So here we go. You have all this happening. The temple, and Trucier are coming out of the temple. And let's see, does Cyclone see the temple? Cyclone doesn't see the temple. That's unfortunate. So we're sort of just scouting around, looking to see what his opponent is doing. He does seem to suspect that something's up, though, as he's keeping most of his oracles there. Ooh, this is sneaky. Soup is walling. Oh my god, Soup has already walled the citizen in. So that is a really dick move. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. And I'd imagine, he will be able to kill this citizen very easily now that it has been captured. Yes, so the citizen will go down, no problemo. It's just going to be killed off by that one here. And I'd imagine that these units will come onto the dock. But Cyclone immediately is popping out a military barracks. He doesn't want to get behind on military, but that is really nasty. You know, that citizen would have been able to escape, but Soup walled it in and just well, it can't escape. So Soup is putting up, not really attacking here. He's putting up a dock and putting up barracks. So this is interesting. You know, there's a lot of menace from him. Oh, here comes the Einherjar. And we see that Cyclone is making Milo and also making a counter barracks. And I think I heard, yes, he is making some boats to help defend his docks. So we are seeing Cyclone coming in. I'd imagine he's going to try to break a house right away. No, he's going to try to break the temple right away. Interesting. Be the right decision. The Soup is a little overpopped anyway. And that Byron is already shooting at the Einherjar, although it's not doing that much damage. But the Einherjar backs off. And Cyclone also backs off too. So we're already, funnily enough, this is already looking like we're getting into another rush-style situation. Although Soup doesn't want to commit to the fight there, and he seems like he might be returning back. Soup has a warboat coming out, and another one. Nope, he's just making a fishing ship so his dock can fire. Super annoying. Super annoying. Idle villager for you from Cyclone. He should try to bring that back if he can. See if any other idols. Nope, that's just it. Must have been an emergency house. So yeah, the army's popping out here, but Cyclone is also now training his own land army. And he has enough boats here that he can just sort of go kill these boats while he maxes his land army out. And he seems to have stopped making boats for the moment, which is definitely the right decision, as this Loki land army is massing up as we speak. He's preparing to make another counter-Rax, and nice. Because the land war is really going to start up very soon. You know, Soup continuing to contest here. He is going to try to just slowly push down this dock and use that to take over the water. So Cyclone seems to realize that this is the time he needs to act, because, you know, if he just gives up the water for nothing, well, that's not good for him. So he is going to come in here and just try to put some pressure on. And, well, the army is going right into his opponent's buildings and fighting here. So this to me looks like a pretty dangerous place to fight. It looks like you get stuck easily. But, you know, he is killing some units, but then backing off. So interesting. Cyclone does lose the dock, so Soup will be taking over this water shortly. And this is putting Cyclone on the back foot in this game again. You know, he has an army. He hasn't been defeated. He has gold, but losing all those villagers, all those fishing ships, excuse me, hurts. You know? Luckily for Cyclone, Atlantean does transition pretty well. So, you know, he should be okay, but definitely the forced farming transition early is going to hurt his economy. And Soup will start fishing this out and just absolutely start up an economic boom. So more racks coming out. So this indicates to me that Soup is looking to continue the military aggression in Classical, and will probably be attempting to attack Cyclone soon. We do see that Soup has killed this bear here. I mean, Cyclone has killed this bear to gather from the gold. And he's doing something really smart. He's already gathering from here. So even if he gets pushed off here, he has a little more here in reserve. Cyclone's army coming out and pushing. He is going to try to take some houses now. So definitely this is good. If he wants to win this game, he needs to start doing some damage to Soup, because Soup has really hurt him with the various aggression onto the pond that he's done and taking Cyclone's fishing. So we're fighting here, and Yeah, this is a nice choke point for Oranos, definitely, and that was a nice shockwave. He sent the Myth and everybody else running. So, looks like Cyclone is winning, but Soup is continuing to spawn new units and engage, so he must be confident about his ability to win this fight with units being spawned from his buildings. And the Einherjar are definitely really helping him out, keeping him in this fight for sure. And Cyclone backs off, I think, primarily just because of the strength of those Einherjar that Soup just popped out. And not a moment too soon as his gold just went idle, and he is going to need to produce an Oxcar for that, which he does right away. Starting the farming transition. And here we see the main army coming in, and we do see raiders coming around from Cyclone. So that is annoying. You know, it will be very annoying to the Loki player. While this is going on, Cyclone continues a sort of slow push on the front. He only has a few more milo, so it won't be that fast, but he can still take out the houses. And Soup is going to respond here. In the meantime, these Terma are coming around the back, and that is going to be annoying. Let's see how Cyclone is doing. So Cyclone, you know, seems to be recovering well from losing water. I'd imagine he'll probably be taking a town center soon. This scary army continues to be here, and now the raiders are coming around the back. And they will be, oh, they're walking right into the wood line, and I don't know. Bit of a blunder there. They could have just stood behind the wood line and fired, so I'm not sure why they didn't do that, but now they're just chilling. And it seems like Cyclone is immediately pulling them. No, he's bringing them over to the left. We can see Soup is responding with his raiders while Cyclone attacks the gold. So, yeah, little raid and counter raid. And now these Terma are going to be forced to retreat as the raiders are here, and the raiders are ever so slightly faster. So the Termas are just going to book it and just try to get out of there before they can lose any to the raiders. The main army from Cyclone once again moving forward. And we don't have an economic guild yet, so no economy upgrades. And funnily enough, the raiders are coming back from Cyclone, so he seems to be prepared for a fight, yet another fight. Yeah. However, Soup still has quite a few Einherjar, so this is going to give his army quite a punch in the fight. Yeah. And Cyclone has run out of valor, so his heroes are what he has, unless he saves up the resources to make more, you know, which is going to take substantial gold, wood, and food, depending on what he makes. The fight going down. Ooh, I like this positioning from Cyclone. Yes, he is getting flanked, but he also had great spreads from his range units and has inflicted quite a few losses on his opponents. But he is backing off here as the raiding group comes around. So interesting. I'm a little surprised to see him doing that. As you can see, he's at 10 pop or so ahead. But I guess just the amount of raiding units of raiders and the Einherjar made him enough to want to back off. So medium raiders is out, so that's an important upgrade for Soup, and he's going for the strategy. Especially since the Cairo Ballista are now out, so the medium raider is going to be all that more important. Yeah. So Cyclone is on 2 town centers, and despite that, he's only booming from 1 town center. Very low food, so he's just starting the farm transition now, really. And, you know, that hurts. It's going to hurt his economy while he transitions to farming. Soup is now taking his 2nd town center. Let's go back to Soup, see what else is going on. We do say a armory, and his resources are stacking up, so I'd imagine he'll be hitting heroic in a minute or 2 now. Any second, any second. A little bit of a raid coming down here. And once Soup gets heroic, it could be trouble for the Oranos player, unless he can get heroic himself. So, Cyclone cannot stop that town center, which is Terma's. I'm surprised he isn't moving his main army forward. Maybe it wouldn't reach there in time or something. And he is just going to out-micro these raiders a little bit and try to pick up some free kills here. But he is going to get flanked around this way unless he gets out of here. So he's getting out of there and is continuing to stay mobile. But this town center is currently going up. And Braggy's on the way for our Norse player. So, yeah. And as we see, Cyclone is still solidly in the classical age and does not even have a armory yet. So this is not good news for Cyclone. Braggy is a really powerful god, and flaming weapons tends to be exceptionally good against Atlantean, just due to their their units just not having. I mean, they're good, but they're not quite as strong as say like Greek units, and they tend to just not really have enough MIF units against the Loki, enough heroes against the MIF units spawned from the Loki flaming weapons either, so it can be very tough. Cyclone has lost these units here. They were captured and surrounded by Soup, so that's a lot of raiders. A lot of Terma, traded for not that many raiders. So Cyclone's once again backing off here, and this is really not looking good. Soup is pushing him back before flaming weapons even comes into play. And it is ready now, so I'd imagine that Soup will be using that when he sees the opportune moment to strike. And the fight is still going down here, so funnily enough, not all the units died. And that's kind of funny, but they will die shortly, as this raider will be killing them off. And yes, here we go. Alas, there goes the spied Terma. Oh, he will live to fight another day. The spied Terma will live to fight another day. So we see that at some point, probably a second or two ago, Cyclone rebuilt the dock here and has started harassment on Soup's fishing here. He recognizes the game is starting to slip away, so he's like, I have to do something, every little thing I can to try to get a little advantage. So he's trying to get a little advantage there, and that's just nice. Just a nice little bit of harass, picking off some opponent's fishing ships and driving them back into the dock. Catacalp is coming out because of the medium raiders are really starting to mass up, and that's annoying. We also see medium throwing axemen coming out. So and heavy raiders. So oof. Yeah, these unupgraded Murmillos are starting to look worse and worse. I mean the Murmillo stacks pretty well up against the raider, but by the time the raider's heavy and the Murmillo is just normal, it starts to no longer look amazing. And Soup's just going to come right in here and try to fight. But not liking it, he decides to back off after losing a few units. Doesn't really matter. At this point, he has a huge population and town center advantage. And moving, expanding to the next gold there. So, more than ready. He is going to come in and try to gold cut here. And this could be really bad for our Oranos player. But Cyclone responding with his army, with the Katas, and he will be able to force these guys back for the time being. The Einherjar and TA are massing back here. I don't know what they're doing. They're just taking a break for a minute, because the life of a throwing axeman is very hard. They have to carry around all those axes, and their commanders force them to reuse their axes from battle to battle. And they don't like it, It's a lot of work having to carry around all those axes. So, give a throwing axeman a chance. Raiders coming in, probably won't. He's going to go for the kills, and he should be able to get them, actually, at the cost of a very few units, which I think is worth it. Especially since he's ahead. It's okay if Soup takes losses, takes trades, that aren't necessarily the best trades in the world, because, it's like in any game. It's like in chess. If you're trading from a position of advantage, trades that are just trades are good for you, but if you're behind, you really don't want to make bad trades. So not that I think that trade was bad. That trade was okay. It just wasn't ideal necessarily. But siege ships coming out here, driving this off. So yeah, that will soon be backed off. And here we see the main Loki army coming in, and he must know that Cyclone is farming here. Gathering here. So ooh, it seems like we're going to see a playmate on the town center. Now, Cyclone has a god in medium, so he has at least stabilized equalize some of the distance between him and the Loki army, so that's good. But we see that as soon as he gets medium, the Loki has just gone heavy all around. And Shockwave going down. Ouch, that's never fun. Good Shockwave. And we are seeing flaming weapons go down, so as well as undermine on the town center. So this is tough. You know, Cyclone can't fight, so he's just going to give up the town center, I'd imagine. If he fights, he just loses everything in a split second. And we do have Cyclone with the armory going down, but he's still not able to advance, and this is looking a little scary. He is doing sort of a good fight here, but you know, getting very good KDR actually, considering flaming weapons up. But while that's going on, his town center is just going to be pushed down. So it just puts the Cyclone on only one town center. And you know, it's very tough. 1v3 town centers. Yeah. And, you know, Loki already has more army coming out. I'd imagine he's going to be going to try to take the town center now, perhaps trying to look at the back, see if there's anything. So Soup is really not trying to push in here. I'd imagine he's going to try to consolidate this position now. And Cyclone losing that dock up there, you know, it was a good try, but Soup responded well. So he will be taking the town center, and I don't know how Cyclone will be able to dislodge it. He is almost up with Thea, so he's not completely out of this game yet. He's realizing, hey, I can't let him take this town center, so he's coming right in. Coming right in for the fight with the bird, and he is hitting the town center to slow down the rate at which it builds. But these MIF units are very annoying. You know, we just see these gangs of Murmillo having to fight against MIF units. So it looks as though he will be able to stop the town center, but at the same time, we see a small amount of aggression from Soup coming in on this side and pushing. So Cyclone just can't get a break. He comes out and defends one side, and Soup immediately comes to the other side. So Supo was not able to get that town center, so oh well. But that doesn't matter to him because there is this huge Loki army barreling down the middle now, and this army will just be able to delete Cyclone's buildings, his military buildings in particular, which, you know, is really scary because he doesn't have any other ones, and he may not be able to rebuild more in time. But instead he's just coming in and just harassing anything he can, hitting every villager he can, even fighting with the main army. And it seems like Soup is just relying on his much stronger armory techs, you know, bronze, shields, and weapons, and copper mail versus nothing, you know, to just get him good trades and allow him to win at this point. Does he have the thing, the axe or whatever? No, he doesn't, but, you know, these birds, they're good, but I don't know if it's going to be enough just because the Loki is so far ahead on town centers and also just in terms of armory upgrades. I mean, look at that, 160 population versus Cyclone's, what, 80? But Cyclone definitely doesn't want to give up the ghost, and he's continuing to resist as best he can. And yeah, but I don't know, this is looking pretty hopeless at this point, boys. So at this point, it's just literally the two birds that are keeping our Oranos player in the game. So overall, this has been a really interesting. This has been an interesting game. I think we definitely this series have seen some really strong metagaming by Soup against Cyclone, where you know, it seems that Soup really took advantage of Cyclone being mentally prepared to play against the Forseti style. So when he had to play against the Heimdall style, it seems to me like Cyclone just wasn't psychologically prepared for it this game, and indeed in most of the games in the series, and thus like has sort of paid the price for it. Because it's the whole series, I do not think, except for the one game where Soup lost, we did not see Soup going for Forseti once. So it's quite possible that Cyclone, you know, had just been of late when he played this game, practicing against Forseti Loki players and just really got caught by surprise by these strategies because, you know, I mean, this Heimdall stuff is completely different than the Forseti stuff. going for a completely different play style. And here we go. This should be the last fight of the game. I'm just gonna fast forward the rest of the game because there's only a second or two left, and as we can see, it's over. So yeah, there we go. Good game, everyone. And valiantly played by Cyclone, attempting to hold out, but it wasn't enough. So yeah, see you on next episode of